friends, this is Byron and I am back. I don't know why I just did that. But anyway, we are here to talk about Temptation Island. We're talking about season 4. It's episode 2. And the show starts out, I forget, but anyway, they're having parties at their villas. And since there's 4 couples, I'm going to talk about all the day's events for the couples individually. And, I kind of mix and match a little bit, but we'll just talk about one couple at a time. So then that way we won't get too mixed up on what is going on. So let's talk about Jillian and Edgar. So here's the problem. And, I have my notes. There's a lot of them. So I will be looking down a little bit. But here's the thing with Jillian and Edgar. Apparently, he had cheated on her in the past, and you can definitely tell that she's not really over it. And again, it was her ideal to come on the show. It's like, girl, if you don't want him anymore, then just say that. Like, don't take this guy through all of this drama, because she's really, I don't know, like some of the things that we see as a person watching the show opposed to what they show their partner edited in the show is something really different. And when I know I was just talking about her, but when you look at him, his conversations is really about her committing himself to her, and it's pretty much all about her. And when they're talking, when you see her thing is, can I really trust him, and this, that, the other. But he's talking to Trace, and they seem to be having a very good friendship connection there. The date selection. So let's just jump in the date selection part of it for Edgar and Jillian. So he chooses Marissa, and she chooses Tommy. Now, she is having this huge connection with this guy. I don't really know why, but she does. She kind of have a type, because they kind of have like the same features. And I don't know, Edgar, he maybe he's opening up to Marissa, because he definitely asked her for a hug, and it's like, you know what, I'm kind of there for it, because Jillian definitely has some trust issues with him. I don't know if their trust issues is something that's going to be resolved here at the show, but we will definitely see what becomes of them. And let's see, when they're at the bonfire. So the bonfire this week, the first bonfire is the bonfire for the guys, and they see what's going on with the girls, and Edgar gets to see this shot of Jillian. And you guys seen the show, so I won't go into that, but he confesses that, I guess after his cheating, or somewhere around the cheating, she starts explicitly texting an ex. I hope it works out, friend. We will be definitely watching to see what goes on. Let's move on. I really didn't write too much about Iris and Luke. Oh, and Edgar wasn't at the party where they were like doing all the chocolate syrup and things. And if he were, I just didn't see him. But I don't think he was at the party. So that's why I'm saying that he's more devoted to her than I think she is to him. And I personally think it's a out for her. But we'll see. This is only episode 2. There's usually a few episodes. Iris and Luke. Let's move on to them. So Luke is just getting into it. Like, he's enjoying himself at the parties and this, and the other. I can actually say that all the other guys are pretty much enjoying themselves at the party, putting themselves out there. And I'm gonna have to learn to write a little bit bigger on this piece of paper. Maybe I need to put one piece of paper for each of them. And that's pretty much that. But Iris, she's there, and she talking to George, and her and George is having a very intimate and emotional connection, and I can actually see them together. The things that Luke says that Iris wants from him, he says he does, but in the bonfire that he has, and like I said, I'll jump all around that. He needs some of that attaboy kind of things, or some camaraderie with, oh, you're doing this and you're doing that. Like I guess he needs it to be recognized in the moments. Like I don't understand why people can't just tell these things to the folks that they're with. Maybe it's a little bit harder. I don't know, but it took you to come to a show to realize it. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. But at the bonfire, he states that exact thing that I just said. And it is what it is. For the date thing, Iris, of course, she picks George, and Luke picked Juicy. And let's see. Oh, when they're at the thing, picking the dates, Luke is going, oh, there's all the choices and the this and the that. And he's making like this huge scene, like he's in this candy store getting free candy. And then he picks the girl, he comes back and he was like, oh, but I still love you, babe. I mean, like that was just so off-putting that it's going to really give her a little something to think about, because if he's that truly in love with her, even if you wanted to make a big scene, and they've done this before in this show and in the previous seasons, it's like when you're picking those dates, don't be making those big ass scenes. It's just not necessary, and it's just so really disrespectful to the other person. Let's talk about Ashley and Lascelles. Because a lot of the women are all over Lascelles, and you know what? Who wouldn't be? But I didn't write too much about him. I know he is expressing and showing a lot of interest in Trace. Maybe the girl that Edgar's talking to is a different one. There's so many at this point, but I know Lascelles is talking to Trace. And she confronts him at some point, because he shows all this interest in her, and he's telling her this, that, the other. So she peeps him out when he is interacting with other women, and I'm not mad at it, but at the same time, it's like, he is there to mingle, and this, that, the other. For us, it's night 2. For them, it's probably like night 9 or something. So I mean, I get that, it's gonna move fast and they can have some attachments. And I feel what she says, don't be telling me this thing and telling these other girls the same thing. So, I mean, you could probably tell them something, but tell them something different. And I can totally agree with that. And so he seems to be pretty now mindful of it, and trying to get to the realization that he is interested in her, but she also reminds him of his girlfriend. And it's like, okay, so do you want the same thing or you want a different thing? Because if the same thing is working, then why? Anyway, these dating shows of this kind gets very confusing very quickly. And so Ashley, she's vibing with Mike, and he's kind of like the kind of guy that I didn't think that she would necessarily go for. But in the first episode, I liked him and her together, but for whatever reason, once they got out on the date, she chose him as her date. And by the time they got out on a date, he was starting to act so weird, like he had to really like impress her instead of being the person that he was before. And so, yeah, she definitely had the question of, well, was that a front and this is the real you? And I truly think that that's what it is. He's just some dingbat douche. I said it. All right, let's move on to Ash and Henya. This guy is not ready for a monogamous relationship. He wants to have fun and this, that, the other. She is already just balling all over the place again. I know that I mentioned this in the first episode. For the dates, she picks Taylor. He picked Chrislyn. I wrote to the side, Ash think his pick is beautiful, so she is unsure of him. Oh, so the Chrislyn is the girl that Ash Henya picked, and his girlfriend Ash thinks that his pick was beautiful and she may not have a chance. So maybe that's why she kissed Taylor. I don't know. It was the first kiss of the season. It was definitely them. As he was talking to Chrislyn, though, she's asking him questions and asking about the rules, and you know, a lot of them ask about rules, and he was saying that the only rule was that they be respectful, and it's like, you know, it's kind of like an unwritten rule for like not having sex with somebody and this, that, the other. Here's the problem with those unwritten rules, which if you think that what the unwritten rules should be and you just didn't discuss them, I'm sorry. If it's not said, then you can easily say, well, I didn't understand for that to be. I mean, you know, there's always an easy out when you when you went and did something and now you're trying to backtrack and fix it to where it wasn't something that, oh no, we didn't agree on that. Like you can easily make an argument out of it. But there they are, all for the couples in their glory. I mean, these people are trying to give them a little bit of run for their money. Again, we're easing into the season. It's always a show that I like to watch. And you know, I'll definitely be here to tell you all about it. I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to be notified every time I post a video, just hit the notification bell. And if you want to share this video to your page, please do so. I see you next week.